Hey you guys, welcome back to another discussion. This one's probably going to be a little bit shorter, but I need to record it today and upload it today. So the day you're watching this is the day that this was recorded. And I'm not 100% sure whether I should be doing this much talking right now. If you know, you know. But anyways, I needed to talk about this because some things are becoming more and more apparent to me, and I would like to address it with you guys. It has to do with the industry this year and what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing from my friends who have spent over 30 years in the industry, and all that sort of stuff. And the big thing is print is dying. Now, we've known print is dying for a while. And it started off this year as, oh, one or two brands just isn't doing a book this year or a printed catalog. However, that seems to be going up, and there's some other things I've noticed as well. So I actually wanted to fully talk about this instead of just throwing it at the end of that little update video or whatever the last video I posted about. I talked about this in one video. I don't remember what it was, but I want to actually dedicate a whole video to it. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I do know of quite a few brands who are no longer going to be printing literature. Some of them for good, some of them for now, but maybe for good. I don't know. So I do know now that Vaxel, they own Air Writer. Well, it's not really Air Writer anymore. They sort of dropped that name. But basically, Vaxel, as far as I'm aware, will no longer really be printing catalogs. From what I hear, they may have like one copy for dealers or something like that, but that's about it. And I don't even know if that's going to end up happening, so we will not be seeing much print from Vaxel anymore. If they do manage to print a catalog, all the showrooms around here are going to save stuff for me. I know they will, so it just means that a lot of my catalogs are going to start coming in the year after and start being outdated, but hey, it's better than nothing. Anyways, I also know that Minka is sort of slowing things down. For the first time in like 30 years, or 40 years now, I think Minka has turned, no, it's 30 or 40. Hold on. So 93 to 2003, 2013. No, it's 30 years. And this is the first time I think in 30 years that we've seen an actual supplement from Minka. At least we haven't had supplement in a very long time from them, if there was one in the 90s. But there is actually a supplement from Minka this year. And from what I've seen, print is so limited. The rep gave one of the local showrooms around here his only copy, and the rest of the stores are just kind of screwed and out of it for now. Well, I say screwed. I mean, there's nothing the rep can do. That's the only copy they gave him. And I don't know whether they're going to be printing more. Once again, I don't know what the deal is there. And also, I believe I talked about this one particularly. Visual Comfort is not printing any new literature this year. They do have new products up on the website. It's nothing ridiculously exciting, just a few new things and some additions to existing collections. And yeah, that's happening there, and they're not doing any printed books. I'm not 100% sure why. I don't know whether it's because like they merged with Monte Carlo and Generation, all that stuff, and they're trying to work out what to do, or whether they are just trying to move away from that. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to move away from that for a few reasons. First of all, we've already explained print is on its way out. And another reason is that Visual Comfort's got all these stores, and a lot of the places that I notice sell Visual Comfort these days are really nice and really fancy, and they got these big computer screens that you can sell stuff off of. So I honestly just do not see them printing much anymore. And not to mention that they sell directly to consumers right off the website. So I just do not see them doing many catalogs. Whether that'll end up staying true, I have no idea. We will see. I will continue to pursue some knowledge in that department. And then there's just a bunch of other brands which I usually know by now, but I'm not too sure whether they're printing this year. Those are some of the main ones. And then obviously we've lost, the Kathy Ireland Home / Emerson and Sunset / Concord. So this year is going to be quite a slower year for me for catalogs than last year was, that's for sure. But yeah, and the main reason why I think they're moving away from them now isn't just because print is dying, but because right now the fan industry is in a little bit of a slump because, well, basically new construction is down, and because the interest rates are so high, people aren't out ready to buy houses. Like, I sure hope that things sort themselves out eventually when I eventually decide to get my own place, because I'm not going to be living here with my parents forever. But yeah, it's a problem. People aren't wanting to move into these houses, so the construction is down, and a lot of the fans that they're selling these days are more builder and cheap fans that are more specialized for those cheap, new construction homes. So when we sort of lose that, that sort of slows everything down. And from what I hear right now, what they are really trying hard to do is market to anybody in the remodeling who's like remodeling houses. And you'll notice that a lot of Hugger products came out this year. Like Minka introduced a Roto Flush. And then one of my other brands, dang it, which one was it? I think it was Monte Carlo. They put out, I keep saying Monte Carlo, get used to it. It's going to take me a while before I start calling the Visual Comfort. I just want to say that now. But anyways, they also put out some more Hugger designs, and I have a feeling it's because they are trying to target those remodelers because, well, in a lot of the new construction homes, we are seeing higher ceilings, maybe like 9 foot instead of the standard 8. Like, I'm really noticing that a lot these days. But all the old houses, all the people remodeling, a lot of them still have 8 foot ceilings. Down here, I want to say that in my basement, it's probably like 7.5 or 8, at least at where my electrical box is. It's a fairly decent height down here, which is nice. But yeah, most of the ceilings around my house, except for the garage, which doesn't count, are all 8 foot. And I've been getting by with 8 foot ceilings. I've managed to hang some kind of low hanging fans there, like the decorative and the decorum, both on 6-inch down rods with a rather large light kit. I've managed to get away with that. It hasn't caused me problems, but a lot of people don't really realize as much. Like, when they see their low ceilings, they think that they need a Hugger, and that there's no fan with like a shorter downward option, like maybe this Concentra behind me would be. They don't really think about that, so oftentimes they just go for a Hugger design. So that's, I have a feeling, why they're doing so much Hugger right now. And just overall, everything though is going to be kind of slower this year. And also budget and stuff. It's getting expensive to print those catalogs as well. So yeah, overall, I'm not too sure how many brands are going to be printing this year. The only confirmations I've got right now on print, I believe, is Hunter. And then, of course, the singular copy of that Minka supplement. I have a feeling that Hinckley Modern Forms and Quorum are all going to be printing, from what the other rep has told me, but things can change. I have a good feeling Craft Made probably will. And there's also a few brands on my brands list that I'm not really going to be actively pursuing as much this year. One example would be Design House. The prices are ridiculous. They haven't introduced anything new. So I'm not going to bother this year. I know that having a complete set would be nice, and maybe someday if I'm bored, I'll give them a call, see if they'll send me a book if they got one. But it doesn't mean enough to me to pursue it anymore. Eglo hasn't introduced anything new in the fan department, and the website is kind of difficult to use right now. And honestly, I don't think they're going to be doing any more with fans. They had that initial release in like 2017 or 18, or maybe it was 19. And since then, we haven't seen anything else. They're a lot bigger in ceiling fans in the foreign market, so once again, can't really be bothered. And then just a lot of those magazines that I usually get, I typically am not receiving them. I don't know why, but it's to the point where I don't have the time and I don't have the care. I'm not going to bother calling them every time I don't get one. I used to, but I don't have the time for that anymore, and I'm done dealing with it. So basically, if I receive it, I receive it. If I don't, I don't. So I'm sort of slimming things down this year. Another example is volume lighting. They haven't introduced anything since 2020. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what their plan is, but it's like, I don't care. I never did much with them anyways. I don't even know if anyone around here locally sells them. So really, I've been cutting off some of the fat, if you will. I've been getting rid of some of the stuff that just doesn't really make sense to me. Some of the brands that just don't mean a lot to me. None of those are the real major brands that people would think of when they talk about ceiling fans these days. And yeah, as far as a lot of the other brands go, I don't know who's printing. I don't know who's doing what. I know Kichler's got a supplement. I don't know what Fanimation's doing. I know they've got a few new products. It'll probably be a supplement. I don't see them putting out a catalog this year. And then, yeah, obviously there's a bunch of other brands. But I feel like I've talked about enough to sort of get this idea across. So If you have been hoarding print for all this time, well, let me tell you, you did the right thing, because I'm starting to really question how many more years we're going to be seeing print. This is probably going to be one of the first years where things really start to close in and there's not nearly as much print as there was before. Like every once in a while, I've seen a year where a brand just doesn't do anything. But this year, though, this year is different because a lot of these brands are still introducing products, they're just not even doing the catalog. So clearly they're trying to get away from that. I hope that in the future they might just do one dealer slash rep copy. That would be nice, and that wouldn't negatively affect me too much because I know my reps, I know my dealers. They would probably save a copy for me, and then when they become outdated, they just pass them on to me. But still, I think that that would be useful. From what I hear, a lot of people still like doing business with catalogs. I don't really know whether everyone else is ready for this yet. It's more the companies making the decision. But of course, it's a big like if you're running a big company, right? You know, you're making all this stuff, and if it's a slow season or whatever, spending all that money on catalogs is just ridiculously expensive. And I do understand that. If it's budgetary, you know, I get it. But if you're just doing it to just get rid of it and go all online, maybe just print one or two. You know, I feel like they still have something useful and something what's the word? Beneficiary, or is that the right word? I don't know. I just woke up, okay, but I had to record this video anyways. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is that I still think that print is useful, and I think they should continue doing it. So yeah, if you do have a bunch of print catalogs at home, then you got lucky, you know, enjoy the ones you got, because I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to get them. Or even even if you're someone who collects them, who like has showroom friends, like they may not be able to give you, and they aren't going to be able to give me nearly as much stuff either. And I've been going to all the showrooms around here since I was a little kid. But it doesn't matter, you know, if they don't have enough copies, I'm not going to take it. So I really do not know what's going to happen here, but it's going to be a lot harder to get print for us, and eventually I have a feeling it's going to be almost impossible. But of course, by the time I think it gets to almost impossible, that's because the showrooms aren't getting them either. I'm really noticing a trend here, and a lot of the showrooms don't seem ready for this as far as I can tell. They just don't. They still seem to use catalogs so much. So I don't know. I mean, a few of the ones around here have started on a new, like a computer system that they've got around the showroom that they can use as like a digital catalog with everything. That's not everybody. So yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. But anyways, I feel like I've talked enough. I feel like I've got my point across. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.